Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome. This is the Tips to Enhance Your AMAC 2025 Conference Experience webinar. We're going to give folks about, let's say 10, 15 seconds to file into the room before we get started. So happy that everyone here can make it on this wonderful Tuesday afternoon. I see the room is slowly filing in. We had a lot of folks who registered for this, so about 140 or so. Okay, let's just get started. My name is Ramon Lowe. I am the Director of Membership and Industry Engagement for the Airport Minority Advisory Council. As I mentioned earlier, this is the Tips to Enhance Your AMAC 2025 Conference Experience webinar, and we should have made that title a little longer. But anyway, I was looking at some of the folks who have registered for this webinar, and I'm really happy to see that a lot of new faces and also a lot of familiar faces, at least by the names. So I know if you've been to a conference before, especially an AMAC conference, you know, everyone thinks it's the same thing over and over again. It is not, and there's something you can always learn from. So what we want to do today is we have a host of panelists who will be here to kind of like share some tips and tricks for you to kind of like make the most out of your experience. Now, with that said, can everyone see my screen, by the way? I hope I'm sharing. Yes, Karen's giving me the thumbs up. So just real quick on the agenda, we're going to open up with a bit of a welcome from our President and CEO, Ebony Wimbush, and hand it off over to our at-large director and the chair of our event planning committee, Karen Ellis. She will then take us through a schedule at a glance, basically day by day of all the events that you do not want to miss. And then Sarah Emmerman will be taking us through new members and attendees, kind of giving you the tips portion of what we were referring to earlier. Then Ms. Sunshine White will go over the AMAC Foundation and all of the events. And we have Ms. Sandra Long, who will then talk to you a little bit about our AMAC PAC and its event. And then we will talk a little bit about the workshops where our Senior Manager of Programs and Operations, Andre Titus, will go through some of the dedicated tracks that you'd be interested in. Then at the end, we'll do a bit of a Q&A. And if you want, you can start putting your questions into the chat where we will field them at that point. So with that, I want to introduce our President and CEO, Ebony Wimbush. Ebony?
Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning. Actually, it's afternoon for everyone, even for those on the West Coast. My name is Ebony Wimbush. I am AMAC's President and CEO, and we are building an exciting event and occasion for you, which is the 40th Annual AMAC Airport Business Diversity Conference. The reason that it is one of the reasons that it is really going to be a significant milestone or a significant event is because of the 40th anniversary and the milestone that we have as an organization. So we're going to be celebrating 4 decades of breaking barriers, of building opportunities, and advancing small business inclusion within this aviation industry. We're going to be celebrating our partnerships, the progress, and certainly the people, including the people who've shaped AMAC's legacy. And so you are going to hear over the next hour from some of our leaders that have been working tirelessly to really have a special occasion for you. But you can expect certainly high impact sessions with our industry leaders, powerful conversations about the state of the industry and innovation, and certainly unparalleled networking with airport leaders, corporate executives, small business owners, and government partners. And so I am excited to let you hear from my partner, I won't say in crime, but my partner in planning and my partner in execution, and that is Ms. Karen Ellis. So over to you, Karen.
Thank you, Ebony. Welcome, everyone. I don't have my walk-up music, but if I did have it, everybody would be moving right now. So know that this is going to be, unfortunately, not an interactive session, but it is one where you're going to receive a whole lot of information and hopefully get you as excited as we are with the planning and execution of the 40th anniversary for this business conference, the Airport Business Conference. Again, my name is Karen Ellis. I'm the Assistant General Manager at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, and I serve as the chair of the AMAC Event Planning Committee, not just the conference, at-large board member as well. So, Ramon, let's just jump right into it. So, schedule at a glance. Now, unfortunately, we don't have enough time for me to tell you everything that we're going to be doing. So I'm just going to highlight a few things that I really want you to make note of. First of all, for those that don't drink energy drinks, or don't use anything that's going to get you a little bit excited, get you something, because we are going from sun up to sundown, from Sunday to Wednesday. So every day there's something that's going on. On Sunday, we start off with our golf event, which I'm not going to steal Sunshine's thunder on that, but this is the event that you don't want to miss. It's an all-white event, and I don't know about you, but I've got my outfit to wear because, well, I change outfits all the time. But anyway, it's something that you really want to join us for. It's a ticketed event. And again, Sunshine White will give you more information about it, but signature event. The next, for the first time attendees or new members, orientation. This is a fun session and gives you some up close and personal time with some of the board members. It kind of lets you know what to expect from the conference for those that may not have attended this session. It'll give them the update. And so we've partnered with CXE, which will be doing our sponsorship for that. And we'll have a gamification on the Hoover app. So if you have not downloaded the app, you need to download the app because you'll get all kinds of information from that. And for these first time attendees and new members, it'll give you an opportunity to communicate with other first time attendees. Because during this conference, you're going to see family. You're going to see a lot of hugs. You're going to see a lot of, and we don't want you to feel like you're not a part of that because this is your first time or you're a new member. We'll just pull you right on in with us. But the other new members and first time attendees that will be attending that session, you can kind of hook up with them. And then now they become your new friends during the conference. Legends and Leapers is always exciting. The emerging leader mixer is always exciting. You just never know who's going to show up. So I'm not going to give any information on that. I'm going to leave that to you all. And then finally for the day, you see we ended at 10:30 with a welcome reception. The New Orleans team has done an amazing job. And I was told to share that the attire for the welcome reception is business casual. It's an aviation theme, and it's going to be a good New Orleans party. If anybody's been to New Orleans, be ready for your second line because it's going to be a lot of that going on. So that's going to round out our day for Sunday. And then we start into our educational sessions on Monday. The opening session is really going, no, I skipped something. The packed breakfast. We want to make sure that we highlight that. That is also a ticketed event. And I don't want to steal Miss Sandra Long's thunder on that. So I'll just say that's an event that you don't want to miss. You see, we're starting pretty early at 7:30, but we will be up and ready to go. Miss Sandra joining you to support your the event for that. Then next we'll have our opening session with our airport directors. This 2020 Vision Forum is always so informative. And if you look at the lineup of CEOs that we have on this panel, if anybody knows anything about this group, they're going to tell you it's going to be just very upfront, personal news that you need to know. You don't want to miss this session. Then the exhibit hall, we have a number of exhibitors. Actually, I think we're close to being sold out of our booths. So you don't want to miss those. They're going to be bringing all kind of information that will be helpful for your business. The ribbon cutting is always a fun thing to do because you never know what's going to happen to open up the exhibit hall. But the exhibit halls will be open from 12:45 to 7 p.m. So please go by and check out our the sponsors there. And then the business matchmaking is another opportunity for you to mingle and chat and network with businesses on that for that particular event. Then we roll into day 2. Okay, if you see a theme, see that, and I'm not giving you that. Okay, the last thing is see, we keep going on Monday. and you see what time we end on Monday. You gotta make sure you take some naps because there's a lot going on. The mentor reception, if you have mentorship reception, if you've signed up to be a mentor or a mentee, this is a reception for you. And then we have our chapter receptions. We have, are we up to 9 or are we at 8 chapters? We're at 7 chapters. Okay, I'm off by a few. But the chapter reception will give you an opportunity to network with individuals in chapters that are within your area or those that you might be interested in joining. The emerging leaders, cocktails and conversations, the shift continues. So you can only imagine what that's going to be like. And then the SSP live reception is always a fun time. Flat shoes are encouraged. We want to make sure that you're available to be there the next day. So now I think we'll roll on to Tuesday, but we started at 7:45 with the packed breakfast. So just saying, a long day. So on Tuesday, again, a foundation event, which is the Celebrating Women in Aviation, the Scholarship Awards Breakfast. Sunshine will give you more details about that. But again, another event that you don't want to miss. It's always a fun time to celebrate women and provide the information for scholarships for our young people. You got to go back to the exhibit hall, even if you just go in there for a little bit. The legislative meeting, the conversation with the experts, that's always fun and entertaining. And then please join us for the AMAC business meeting and election ratification. We need a quorum to be in attendance for that meeting so that we can ratify the elections and make the announcements of who the new officers are going to be.
Karen, I just want to make a little bit of announcement, just to interject there. So this is extremely important, folks. As all of you, if you are members in the room, and I see a lot of folks, a lot of familiar names, so I know you are. We will be in the coming days releasing the slate of candidates for the board elections, and we need you to please make sure that you've listed who your voting representatives are. And if you haven't yet, we will definitely let you know because the national office will be pouring over those members. So make sure you have your voting representatives listed. And then 2, make sure you please vote. We'll be sending any number of reminders over the next few weeks or so, because this is extremely important. Because again, we have board members such as like Sunshine and Karen who help us really chart the course of AMAC and really the industry. And we want to make sure that we have our full complement of folks who are in there with us to drive our mission forward. So anyway, I just wanted to add that in. And once the voting ends, the ratification will happen at 11:30 on July 1st. Please show up because, as Karen said, we need a quorum. Anyway, back to you, Karen.
Thank you, Ramona. I appreciate that. And then we'll round out this portion of the day with the keynote address and the general session. Now, I noticed I said we'll round out this portion of the day. The day continues. So our AMAC Runway to Success pitch competition, I would describe it as something like Shark Tank. So you don't want to miss that because you'll see some individuals competing, and we want to make sure that we're there to celebrate them. And then we'll have the AMAC President's Reception and the Catalyst Award. So, Catalyst Award, let me tell you, this is an opportunity for us to do a lot of celebrating. We want to acknowledge our founding officers and founding governing board. And you know what? We are making sure that we're recognizing the right individuals because we have the article of incorporation. So we know whose names need to be recognized and whose individuals will be recognized. We're going to do some fun things for those individuals that are still with us. And there may be some family members of some of our previous board members that may have passed on that we will be recognizing them. Catalyst Award is a great opportunity for you to see how we are recognizing individuals in the industry. I will say that I was told that this is the highest number of nominations this year. So look for this to be an outstanding event. And the last thing that I'll say about this is the attire is New Orleans chic. Now, what does that mean? Well, come in your favorite purples and your golds and your greens. And it's semi-formal, but if you want to do formal, that's on you. But just remember, wear some flat shoes because there'll be a lot of dancing, a lot of movement, a lot of second lines that'll be taking place. So you want to be comfortable. And again, next thing is the business conference for 2026, the 41st anniversary. They will be doing their preview, more dancing, AMAC After Dark, and it says 11:30 to 11:59. I'm not sure that that's right because we're gonna go into the wee hours of that day. So we started early, ended at midnight. So we'll move on to the next day. And I'm gonna pause right here to say, if you don't go to any other sessions, but I hope you will, that you'll attend the AMAC ALC Fireside Chat, where I will be moderating a session with several amazing young ladies or women that are from different airports. This is a conversation where we talk about how women navigate the cultural divide in a male-dominated industry. Now, it's not as bad as it's been, but some of the questions will be something like, how do you make sure your voice is heard? How do you make sure that you're not coming across as the angry woman, whether it's white, black, green, whatever, the angry woman? And then how do you also navigate it when you say something and then your male counterpart says the same thing? They hear him, but don't hear you. So this is going to be some good stuff. And you don't want to miss that. Then we'll have the MSY Opportunities one-on-one that will talk about different opportunities that are available at the New Orleans Airport that you may be interested in. And then we'll round out the day with a tour of the Louis Armstrong New Orleans International Airport. Again, this is always a fun thing to do because you want to see the behind the scenes of an airport. This is the opportunity to do that. And this ends at 3. So you see, we've gone from Sunday to Wednesday, bright and early to mid-afternoon. So be sure to have your Red Bulls, your what do we use in the back in the day when we didn't have Red Bulls? I don't know. I try my best to try to get a nap in around lunchtime because I definitely want to be around to see everything that's going on. But I know me, I have to pace myself. But I would love for you all to say hi when you see me. I am, as I said, the event planning chair, and we have been working diligently since last year, right after the 39th conference to prepare for the 40th. So we're getting ready for you all. We want you to be excited like we are and bring your energy because trust and believe we'll have ours. So Ramon, unless we're going to take questions at the end, otherwise.
We'll take questions at the end.
Okay. All right. Well, I will turn it over to my next speaker, or Ramon, are you going to do that?
I will do that right now. Now I want to introduce Ms. Sarah Emmerman. She is the owner of Sarah's Foods and also works very closely with me on the membership committee as a vice chair. And Sarah, I'll hand it over to you to talk about what new members and attendees should expect.
Thanks, Ramon, and I'm so happy to be here today. I'm really excited for you guys. My first AMAC conference was 10 AMAC conferences ago. We skipped a year or so, I think, during COVID. So it's amazing. Like Karen said, it is such a tight-knit community. I think you're going to be hooked after your first one. So I'm very, very excited for you all. The first thing, so before the conference, we have a few ideas of things that, well, first let's back up. So the new member first-time attendee orientation is on Sunday, June 29th from 4 to 5 p.m. And the room is called Strand 11. So you're definitely going to want to attend that. That's where you learn more about AMAC and the conference. And Karen spoke a little bit about that. So some board members will be there. It's definitely a great way to kick off your conference for sure.
And this is also an opportunity for us, not just to reinforce what Karen said with regards to your first time at the conference. It is also our member orientation. So we host 4 member orientations throughout the year, and this is the first really only live one that we will do. And we try to take the advantage of having everyone all under one roof for the next few days to kind of host it. So we'll have folks like Karen and Sunshine be there as well to kind of talk about the respective roles. So you can take advantage of that as a member, and as well as some other guests. So anyway, go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah. So yeah, moving on to the next slide. Before the conference, you're definitely going to want to download the WOVA app. It's very user-friendly. If I can use it, you can. You can link to your LinkedIn, to your website. It's great. And definitely study the agenda. A lot of times what I'll do ahead of time is I'll put into my calendar the sessions that I know I don't want to miss because schedules fill up and things happen. I also like to schedule meetings. If I know certain people are going to be at the conference that I want time with, I always like to do that in advance before their schedule fills up. So try, emailing people, whether it's from different airports or different primes that you might want to connect with, and get on their schedule ahead of time, probably like now, right? And then you're going to want to study the experience hall. I know AMAC's done an amazing job. It's almost sold out. Definitely want to see who's there. And then add information to your member profile so that everyone who is on there sees what your company and what you're all about. If you have not already, you definitely want to join an AMAC chapter. And there are, as Karen mentioned, on that Monday, June 30th, there are events specifically for your chapters. So I have to give a shout out to the Chicago chapter. So that's Monday, 5 to 6 p.m. And then follow AMAC and AMAC chapters on LinkedIn for sure. And then during the conference, it is all about networking and making sure that you're getting that face time. The sessions, the content of these sessions are incredible. And the speakers that we have coming are top notch. So you definitely want to attend as many sessions as possible. And of course, visit the experience hall. I like to turn on the notifications on the WOVA app when you arrive, because that oftentimes will send helpful reminders like this session's happening right now, right? So you want to make sure that because sometimes, it's easy to get kind of sidetracked into one way. So that helps keep us on track. I will say for the business matchmaking, I have to give a shout out for business matchmaking. This year, we are moving to appointments. So ahead of time, you will have received an email. You're going to want to go on to My Business Matches, which is the software that we're using this year, and fill out your profile there. And you'll see you can schedule your meetings ahead of time. So you definitely want to make sure that you do that ahead of the conference. After the conference, it's all about the follow-up and the follow-through, right? So I always like to kind of hold on to my business cards and follow up and just send a quick note saying it was great to meet you. And then that way they have your contact information and it's fresh in mind. Join a committee, again, if you haven't, and a chapter. I really started by just being on one of these calls and someone was like, join a committee. And I joined the membership committee, and that was about 8 years ago. So it's definitely a great way to get involved. Same with the chapter. You definitely want to be, if you're lucky enough. And Ramon, which cities, do you want to mention which city
Sure.
chapters we have? So if anyone's in those cities, join now.
Sure. So we have Baltimore/Washington, D.C., Detroit, Denver, as Sarah mentioned, Chicago, Los Angeles, Portland, and very recently we just stood up Houston. There's at least one more in the queue. I can't say, which one it is. It is the Big Apple, but it is coming soon. Hopefully it will be next. I know Sandra appreciated that.
Did you forget one, Ramon?
What's that?
Did you forget one?
Oh, did I say Denver? Wait, who did I forget? I said LA, Denver, Houston's coming, Portland, Detroit, Chicago, Baltimore, DC, Atlanta. The ATL. I'm sorry about that. Atlanta. Thank you for keeping me honest on that. Yes. Atlanta, which actually was just stood up last October. So that is led by Miss Alicia Ivy, and they're really energetic. So yes, definitely feel free to join one of our chapters. You can join any chapter actually as you want, but you can only hold office if you are looking to run for office, which we aren't going to be doing any elections anytime soon, but you can only hold office in your home chapter. So as Sarah mentioned, please make sure you get involved on a national level with AMAC, but then get involved at a local level with your chapter. So sorry about that, Karen.
And then as well for after the conference, definitely look, we already right away start looking for the next year. So look for sponsorship and exhibit opportunities for the 2026 conference, and also be on the lookout. You'll get emails for upcoming AMAC events to stay involved. But I'm very excited to see everyone there. Thanks again for having me.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. And now I would like to introduce Ms. Sunshine White, and she's the chair of our AMAC Foundation Board of Directors. They do a lot of tremendous work, but you don't want to hear from me. I will pass it on to Sunshine. A little bit about you, Sunshine.
Thank you, Ramon. And hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. As Ramon said, I am Sunshine White. I am the Senior Director of Strategic Partnerships for Delaware North, and also honored to serve as the AMAC Foundation Chair. I'd like to introduce the foundation a little bit more for those who may be new to our work. The AMAC Foundation is focused on attracting and supporting and developing women and minorities who are interested in careers in aviation and aerospace. And we carry out this mission by providing scholarships to help students reach their academic and professional goals. We host a number of programs and events that create real opportunities for connection and mentorship and career exposure. And we do this throughout the year, but we do major events through each annual conference, and this is where we fundraise the most. So let's talk about those very special events. Next page for me, Ramon. So we didn't talk about Saturday, but Saturday is really when we kick off our foundation events. And one of my most favorite events are Project Lift. And this is all about youth engagement and our commitment to the next generation. And every year, Project Lift brings local students together to learn about careers in aviation and aerospace. And so this year we will have more than 200 local students join us at the airport, where we'll have flight simulators and drones flying, and visits to air traffic control towers and tarmac tours to learn about plane mechanics. And so students will see real industry professionals from all disciplines, from engineering to law to finance to maintenance, and understand how they may fit into that one day. So if you are interested in volunteering or speaking or participating, please do reach out, because we need all of the support that we can. So that is our very first event on Saturday. On Sunday, Miss Karen talked about one of our premier events that we have the most fun. And I always say this event, we are partying with a purpose. Last year was an outstanding and memorable event for all of you that were able to join. I know that you can share that sentiment. This year, we will be hosting it at 504 Golf, which is just under 5 miles from the Hyatt Hotel. It is going to be an all-white party. So as Miss Karen said, get your outfits ready. There will be live DJs and door prizes and raffles. We'll have some Creole-style cuisines and drinks and all kinds of fun stuff. And the best part about this is you don't have to know how to golf to join us. We are there, we are networking, and if you want to swing a club or two, you can. And if you just want to socialize and hang out and be a part of a wonderful fundraising event, you can still come and party with a purpose. So everyone welcome, no skill set needed. Just show up and support this event. You will not regret it. And that's going to be a long day, because we have to go to the networking reception. We have to go to parties. So as as you were told before, get your rest when you can. On Tuesday, the foundation will give you a break on Monday, and there's plenty enough to keep you busy. But Tuesday, we're gonna start again with a Celebrating Women in Aviation breakfast, and this event sells out every single year. And last year was our most highly attended event ever, and this seems to be a continuing theme. We celebrate trailblazing women in aviation and aerospace, and this is just a truly special event. And this year, we'll continue to honor women from the past 40 years who have helped us really shape the industry. We will have a very special performance, and this is the first time hearing it here. So if you are on this call, you're hearing it first. We'll have a special performance by the Peanettes, which is an all-female brass band, and they played during the halftime Super Bowl show in New Orleans. So they will be leading the procession into the event and put on a fabulous show for you guys. And that's how we're going to kick off the breakfast. So please don't miss this incredibly powerful and inspiring event. So see you there. Don't miss this one. And lastly, I want to share the silent auction. And this is going to be held throughout the conference. And this is not a typical auction. We're not talking about just purses or shirts or the little things. Think international getaways. Think about luxury experiences. We're talking about auctioning off trips around the world, talking about destinations like Colombia and the Dominican Republic or golfing in Scotland. Nothing typical. Sporting events, including suite tickets and access and Michelin star restaurant experiences. All of these things donated and directly benefiting students. And so again, I encourage you to attend all of these events. They are all directly benefiting the next generation of aviation professionals. And so every dollar is going to support scholarships and programming to make sure that we really have that inclusive future. So looking forward to seeing you there. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and I will pass it along. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunshine. I went back a slide to make sure that you guys have noticed that there is a QR code that you can scan on your screen if you do choose to donate to the foundation. It's a very, very worthy cause. So I'm going to leave it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if not, then please make sure to visit our website and go to the foundation page, and you can read more about the foundation, all its efforts, but also to donate. Sunshine, you want to just talk about, I know I threw this in on Sunshine very last minute because just some images from the last few.
Sure.
See, don't we look cute in our all white?
Isn't that
That's what I'm
something?
talking about myself.
It's
That's right, so
amazing. I mean, that all white people love a good theme. And when you show up, there is just fun and you feel this camaraderie. And you can see all of the smiles in this photo at the golf event. So that's one you won't want to miss. And to the right, you will see our students engaging in Project Lift and virtual reality and learning about those careers, and the smiles that they have are incredible. You'll see our emerging leaders team talking to these young students about what their future may look like in this space. So that is just really fun and exciting. And then the bottom left, our Celebrating Women in Aviation, where we really get to honor some tremendous women. And you'll see in those photos some of our very good friends who we know have done some incredible work in the industry. So this is just a quick snippet of all of the wonderful events that you can be a part of in this coming year.
All right. Thank you so much, Sunshine. And so I'm pleased pleased to announce or introduce Ms. Sandra Long. She is the chair of our AMAC PAC Board of Directors. And before she gets into her portion, just a little bit about the PAC, or I should just say about us and the PAC. We are nothing if we don't lead with our advocacy first and foremost. And that's really what that is our mission, our goal. So as much as we connect so many folks, as much as we celebrate with each and every one of you of all the accomplishments that we've had throughout the year, it is even more important that we have folks from our Government Affairs Committee and then folks like Sandra, leading the PAC to help make sure that we can preserve and now protect really all of the programs that are dear to AMAC's mission. So with that, enough for me. I'm going to hand it over to Sandra to introduce herself and talk a little bit about the PAC. Sandra? Oh, you're on mute if you're speaking.
I'm just talking.
That's
There you go.
I know it. Listen, I am so excited to be here today. And I listened to Sunshine talking about all her great events. I hear the great Karen Ellis talk about, and they make it sound so fun and exciting. And I got to figure out with the board how we make the PAC extra fun. I mean, I don't know how, but look, we're the money raising people. That's what we do. Karen's going to help me figure out how to make that fun. But I think just a little bit about me. I was Deputy Secretary of Commerce for Maryland. That's the deal maker for the state. I came out and started SLA Worldwide with my mission of I want to put restaurants and airports across the country. And my family believes that there is just honor in feeding people, and that's our motto. And so if you're committed to this industry, then you need to get involved. You need to step up to the plate, step in, and just get involved if you're going to be in the aviation and the concessions in our industry. And we are family, and we help each other. It's very small, it's very close-knit. And so when I decided to get involved with the PAC, my background is in politics, sort of politics and food. And I wanted to be a part of the PAC because I felt like I had something of value that I could give with the other board members. And so, listen, we put on one great event every year. We do Capitol Hill with our partners, but the signature event that the PAC does is what we now call the Power Breakfast. It is at 7:30 in the morning, Karen, on Monday. It's hard after you go in and partake on Sunday night, but look, it's worth being in that room just because I tell people the power players are in that 7:30 breakfast in the morning, and you need to be there. If you want to get in touch, if you want to see Delaware North is in that room. If you want to see hosts, they're in that room. But back in the day, I always call out Delaware North because when we didn't have anyone in the room, Sunshine, we had like 15 people. They walked in the room and I knew we were on to getting that momentum, right? That we had the momentum. And so the next year, because Delaware North was in the room, all the other guys start showing up. And now today we have something because we raise money to be able to give it away to our friends in Washington so that people can listen to us, not just in DC, but state capitals and wherever policy is being affected for airports, aviation, minority businesses, then we give money away to our friends so that we have their ear. And my thing is, I want to ask everyone to get involved this year. If you're coming to the 40th annual, and this is sort of a show of Karen Ellis, Ebony, and the AMAC crew rides again. It's some of the best. It's some of the best networking, partying, engaging, business development that you will find in our industry. So you need to be there. As the chair, I want to ask you to be involved in the PAC. Come to our breakfast. You'll network, but more importantly, you'll help fund. You'll help fund the things that we do every single year. Our theme this year is the future is funded because it takes money. And people always say I'm shameless. I'll ask anyone to contribute to the PAC. I will. We need to get now more than ever, to be heard, right? So I thank you for everything. I'll close by saying, let's build together. Let's support each other. Be a part of the 40th annual. It's going to be great. Ramon, thank you. I'm sure I'm over my time. I just want everyone to know we need their help. All right.
All right.
And Sandra, I saw the energy. I saw it. That you did well, boo. You did well.
Make it fun, Karen. I don't
You
know
did
how.
well.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Sandra. And again, just as with the foundation on your right, on the right side of the screen, there is a QR code that you can scan if you'd like to donate to the PAC. It is extremely important, as Sandra had mentioned. We need to fund the future in order to protect the future. So please make sure you take a minute to scan that. Or again, as always, you can go to our website at amac-org.com to and learn more about the PAC and also donate there. So thank you again. And with that, I will hand it off to the person who makes everything run, I should say. That is Mr. Andre Titus, the Senior Manager of Programs and Operations for AMAC, the national office. So I'm going to hand it over to Dre.
Thank you for that introduction, Ramon. That's going to help because this is the second year in a row I'm following the toughest acts on this webinar, so we have to find a different place to put me. But thank you for that introduction, and I promise I will look much more like my headshot when we get to New Orleans. So I am here to talk about our concurrent workshop track. We're really excited for this year's slate. As many of you know, our industry has been fraught with a bit of uncertainty due to some political changes. And while we are not leaning to one side or the other, we are looking to present some timely information to help our members navigate the industry as it stands, regardless of what side of the aisle they fall on. So we're going to start with a quick look at our AEC, our Architecture, Engineering, and Construction track. So we're kicking things off on Monday with a part 2 and backed by popular demand session. This is the Airport Infrastructure Programs and NWBEs as primes. This session was introduced last year and moderated by Mr. Dwight Pullen. And as I said, this session was brought back by popular demand. Dwight has a brand new panel or brand new speakers on this year's panel to dive into the primes of AECs and owners really of MWBE firms that have led on prime projects and talk about what the landscape looks like moving forward for our industry from that standpoint. Then later in the afternoon, we will go to a new session this year, which we're really excited about. This is delivering private airport capital and development programs on time and on budget. So this session is going to have experts from airline, cargo, interior, and developer representatives talk about how large and small scale capital improvement programs can spur economic development and also show what opportunities are available for SMWBE companies and our members on this side of the industry. We have a really impressive slate of panelists, including representatives from Vantage Group, AV Ports, the corporate real estate representative from United Airlines, and the chair of the Carlisle Airport Group. So we are really, really excited for this, this panel. The panel that we will have on Tuesday has become sort of the flagship panel of the AEC track. This will be the airport development programs, where we will have 4 of the 4 airports giving presentations on their upcoming opportunities in the next 6 to 12 months. Again, exclusive insights on the decision-making processes, learn about the essential needs for contracting partnerships, and hear the experts' comprehensive visions for their large capital improvement programs. And then this segment will round out on Wednesday with the business side of architecture. This is a panel that is going to take a look at the foundational need-to-know aspects for delivering projects on time, within budget, and also accounting and preparing for the potential barriers. They're going to look at growth and service diversification lessons from small and mid-sized businesses, how to right-size your insurance coverage, and talk about different workforce development strategies. So even though Wednesday, we know that's the last day, we wanted to make sure we had compelling content for all of our attendees. Now we're going to take a look at the airports track. So we are starting off on Monday with maybe one of the more impressive panels, in my opinion, Governance at Open Doors. This is a panel that will feature airport commissioners. We have Commissioner Tammy Hall Roberts, the chair of Board of Directors for the Raleigh-Durham Airport Authority, Mr. Thorne Posen, the chair of the Metropolitan Washington Airport Authority, and then we have Commissioner Vanessa Aramayo from Los Angeles World Airports. In this session, is really going to take a look at how where the commissioners sit in terms of the intersection of governance, influence, and public trust. And they're going to talk about their role, how it is often misunderstood and underestimated. But we're going to bring their voices to the forefront here. Next, we have the culture effect, driving performance from the inside out. This is a session that is going to take a look at real-world examples and data-driven insights and actionable frameworks on how to define, diagnose the culture that you have at your airport, while also identifying the culture you need and building alignment across people, processes, and policies. I think that's timely subject matter for where we are right now in the industry. And then on Tuesday, we come back with a panel focused on cracking the procurement box. Sometimes I think procurement is seen as a box that's defined by regulation and sealed by risk in some instances. So this session is designed for airport leaders and procurement professionals who are ready to challenge the status quo and crack that box open. They're going to look at different ways of how folks can modernize their internal processes and broadening the bidder pool, and also provide insights on how to help construct pathways and not barriers to access performance and innovation in airports. And then finally, on Wednesday, the airport workshops will wrap up with the talent shift workshop. And this is going to focus on the evolving demands on workforce and as competition for talent is intensifying. Airports are going to have to think beyond the vacancies and think towards long-term viability. So in this session, our panelists are going to discuss how airports are reimagining the recruitment, sourcing professionals nationally and from outside of traditional industry pipelines, and also going to look at what it means to redefine how they're investing in talent in the industry. And moving on to our concessions track. We are starting on Monday with a panel called Capital Contracts and Small Business Growth. In this session, our panel is going to look at key partnership strategies and how to identify and really how to identify secure strategic partnerships that can help enhance airport concession projects. Get a deep dive into gaining insights on how the mastering, responding to the RFP process, and also take a look at some diverse financing options for airport concessions. Then the second panel that we have on Monday will be From Data to Dollars, Boosting Guest Engagement with Revenue and Business Intelligence. So as we all know, we have an evolving airport marketplace, and success now hinges on more than just foot traffic. It's about understanding how travelers are behaving. So this is a session that is going to have an engaging panel discussion and discovering how data analytics is being used to reshape decision-making in airport concessions. So we're going to have a few different strategies that the panel is going to share, as well as some new software that's being introduced to the industry. And moving on to Tuesday, this is going to be, in my opinion, probably a standing room only session. It's titled Managing Tariff Turbulence. So this is a new and I would say a priority issue that we're dealing with in the industry. It cuts across all of our segments. It's not just a concessions issue, but to that end, we've curated what I think is an impressive panel that cuts across all sectors and is going to give valuable insight into the current and emerging landscape of tariffs and the effect it's having on global trade, identify some risk management strategies that can be tailored to airport concessions, talk about some of the real world examples of the businesses are doing to adapt effectively under these pressures, and also take a look at a few practical planning tools to help reduce the exposure and continue operational continuity while these things remain in flux. And then finally, the concessions workshop will wrap up with the Smart Starts and Scalable Growths in Airports. This is a session that's going to look at new pathways for small businesses to launch, grow, and thrive in the industry. There are going to be some experienced panelists providing insights and really taking a look at real world examples on how to support low barrier entry. So whether that be in automated retail concepts or some other strategies the panelists are going to share, this is going to be an innovative panel we think will be very, really informative for our members and particularly our small business owners. So again, we have what I think is an extremely compelling section or slate of panels across our concurrent workshop track this year. I would also be remiss if I did not mention, we will also have our FAA and USDOT track. This year, that will look just a touch different. The U.S. agencies have not been granted access to travel and speak publicly at any industry events, not only AMAX. So to that end, the national office has worked tirelessly with some of our members and subject matter experts to curate a track for the FAA and or in place of the traditional track of the FAA and USDOT representatives that are on that. So I know that information is on the website, and we will have more information coming on that in the marketing as we lead up to the conference.
All right. Thank you so much, Andre, for that. So we're going to go into a little bit of a Q&A real quick. I saw there's a couple of questions that were submitted. I tried to answer them in the chat as best as I can. This one is, I'm going to start off with for Sarah, because it is a question about business matchmaking. Can you provide a little more detail on how the business matchmaking is organized? Are the meetings scheduled in advance, or are they arranged on a first come, first served basis?
Yes, so they are going to be scheduled in advance. So ahead of time, you're going to want to sign up for the My Business Matches software. That's what we're going to be using, and there are emails going out. If you clicked in your registration that you want to attend the business matchmaking event, you will be getting emails with a link. So you're going to want to go ahead, create your profile. We are also offering webinars on training on how to use this new software, which is My Business Matches again. So you're going to create your profile, and then if you are a buyer, so if you're an airport, a prime, etc., you will have access to see all the suppliers. Suppliers are the small businesses, right? So you will create your profile, you'll upload your NAICS codes, and it's very user-friendly. So you'll see it's easy to click which category your business is in. You will then request meetings with the buyers. Then the buyers go on and they're looking for good matches. We really want to make sure these are quality meetings. And so then you'll see when they accept, if they accept, it's not guaranteed that you will, get the match with the person. It has to be where the interests are aligned. So if you are a good match, you'll see in the My Business Matches software on the website that you have certain meetings, and it'll tell you what time. These meetings are going to be 15 minutes per meeting, and then there's 5 minutes in between to transition from one meeting to the next. So it's really important this year you don't forget to sign up for business matchmaking and make sure you complete your profile and schedule your meetings ahead of time. And just to reiterate, it's Monday, June 30th from 2 to 5. Excellent.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Sarah. We have another question. Same. Is there a workshop for an environmental scientist? Not necessarily, but if you are attending the conference and you're here because you've registered to do so, there are a number of companies that are on the private side that you might want to network with that might have a use for your skills, but also on the what we call, I like to think of as the landlord side, where Karen resides, with the airports. We have over 50 major airports who are in attendance or will be attending. That's not 50 people, over 50 major airports. And that number is growing, by the way. So for an environmental scientists such as yourself, Thaddeus, if there's a product or an initiative that you're interested in or wanting to learn more about, I would probably suggest that you connect with someone with some of those airports or some of the primes will be in attendance on that. Andre, there's a question here from the Kalia O'Guillory. Does she need to register for the mentor-mentee reception? I don't think she does, but I'll defer to you on that.
Register for the reception, no, but we will follow up with the mentors and mentees on details and next steps of what they need to do.
Excellent, thank you. And Sarah, another question on business matchmaking. Is it too late to sign up as a buyer?
No, not at all. So you can email me and I'll put my email in the chat, because if you didn't sign up for it when you registered for the conference, then you can just email me and I'll add you to the list, and then we will send you the emails with, next steps. It is definitely not too late at all. And I'll put my email in the chat now. I see Stephanie's email, so I'll go ahead and add you to the business matchmaking event. But if you haven't registered for the conference already, don't forget to register for business matchmaking when you sign up for the conference.
Excellent. I don't see any more questions, so I'll just go and try to wrap things up because I know we have about 5 more minutes. You've heard this mentioned already with regards to the app. It is we have our official event app. It's Whova. We've used it at least the last 2 or 3 years, I think, starting from what I remember back in San Antonio, right, Karen? Extremely valuable. We're expecting about 1,500 people in attendance, and yes, we are downtown, and yes, it is confined to a building, but often it's hard to connect with people or find people because there's so much going on. You'll be in a lot of meetings, you'll be in a lot of sessions. So the Whova app really, for me, as Sarah had said earlier, great way to find and connect people in addition to just the random running into them in some of the parties and functions, etc. So make sure you download the app. Number one, you can go to the Apple App Store, or for some of you who decide to go Android, you can go to the Google Play Store as well to download it. You can scan the QR codes here on your screen. Once you do sign up, you will be emailed a code, just like anything, kind of like two-factor multi-factor confirmation, etc. Once you enter that code in, you can then enter our invitation code, which is AMAC 2025 NOLA, N-O-L-A, and that will get you access immediately to the app, to the event, and from there you'll get all the latest on the agenda. People actually use it to connect and create little meetups.
Yeah, all the
right?
time. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So if you want to go and work out, early in the morning, there are people for that. I don't know why.
I don't either. Who has that energy? But
Exactly. For all you Deltas out there, there's probably a Delta meetup somewhere, I'm sure.
actually, there's going to be a D9 group, because we are going to take a D9 picture for all of those sorority and fraternities that will be attending, members that will be attending.
Always. So please make sure you click and scan the QR codes, download the app. We did send an email out today. We'll probably send out another one in the coming days as well. But they do come with instructions on how to handle the app. Just like I mentioned earlier, you sign up, you'll get a code to enter in, and then you can put in our event code to then access the event on your phone. Extremely valuable to have at the conference. And last but not least, if you are not already a member, and I know there are a lot of folks here in this room who are, but if you're not, please think about, consider joining. We are more than just one event a year. We are multiple events a year. Sandra mentioned earlier, we had our Econ Forum earlier this year, which was phenomenal. The Econ Forum is the live extension of AMAC's advocacy, and you need to be there and support all the efforts of our committees to make sure we protect our programs. Also coming up in the fall, we have our She Soars Women in Aviation event, the 2nd annual, which will be in where, Karen? Where She Soars going to be, Karen? In Atlanta, of course. So we'll be returning to the ATL for our 2nd She Soars event. But yeah, all these things we like to convene people. We want to network people. We want to make sure that we educate folks so that you can kind of help and continue to help our industry grow. So that is it. I will say, oh, there it is. Our She Soars Women in Aviation event, September 18th and 19th, which will be in Atlanta. Help us celebrate the centennial for the city, and more details to come, and we will be launching registration in the coming days for that. And with that, I think we've wrapped up. Right? I think, is there, I'll just go to the
Are there
panel.
any
Is
other
there,
questions?
actually, let's see if there's any questions. Let me see. There's more
Thank
comments.
you, Angela.
Angela wants to volunteer. Perfect. I'll go one more time around the whole group and because I like to ask this question. We'll start with Karen. One piece of advice for anyone who hasn't been to an AMAC conference.
Wear some flat shoes. I'm just saying, 'cause at the end of the day, we don't want your dogs barking, as they used to say, but yeah, be comfortable. It's going to, I know you said one thing, but it's going to be hot. Keep that in mind. So dress accordingly, and we're looking forward to seeing you.
Sandra, how about you? One bit of advice.
I do want people to remember to either download the Hoover app or get a digital business card profile. You will meet so many people.
Yep.
You have got to be able to share your contact information. Thank you, Roman.
Sarah, how about you? What
Yeah, so
as Cindy?
everyone in the airport industry will be at this conference. So keep that in mind, schedule meetings ahead of time and get some great FaceTime with everyone.
Ms. Sunshine?
Introduce yourself to everyone. You never know where your next opportunity or networking connection will come. So do not be afraid, especially as a newcomer. Introduce yourself to the person that is sitting next to you every single event.
Dre, how about you?
Once again, Ramon, you put me last and my thunder was stolen, so I'll come up with a new one. But yes, that is a good point. So the entire industry will be here. We are a family. If this is your first time here, things may look a little intimidating because we're not an intimidating group. We're a welcoming group. Please introduce yourself, engage yourself, attend as many things as you can. To that end, that'll bring me to my piece of advice. We have a jam-packed schedule. I know because I was a part of putting it together at the end of last conference. We always try to create some space in there, but essentially, because of the content, folks are going to have to make some hard choices. So please review the agenda, plan accordingly. There's a possibility you're going to miss something great, but all that means is you need to stay engaged and keep networking so you can get the download on what you missed.
Excellent. And so just so you won't be last, Andre, I'll add something. And this goes for being at this conference or being a member of AMAC. This is a full contact sport. We do not want people just in the stands. You need to get out of the stands and get involved. So don't be a passive observer. That's the only way you can make it in this industry, as Andre and everyone here has said. We are family, and you're going to feel it because it feels like a reunion. Honestly, when we get together. So
Trust
anyway,
me, if you're
that-
standing on the sideline and we see you, we'll pull you in.
they're
So,
getting pulled anyway. Excellent. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much to everyone. Thank you to the panelists for lending their time, and thank you to each and every one of you for registering to come to the conference. And we will hopefully see you in New Orleans soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
thanks, everybody.
Thank you.